South Africa's hotel sector has shown signs of recovery. This after the horrors of the COVID-19 pandemic and as the country faces a challenging economy. Occupancies may not be back to pre-pandemic levels, but Financial Mail reports that revenue is up thanks to a rebound in luxury travel. Editor for the Financial Mail, Marc Hasenfuss, joins us now with more insights. Marc, always a pleasure. Good afternoon.
Afternoon, good to be here.
Well, let's speak about hotels and the recovery story. It hasn't been, sorry, Mark, it hasn't been an even one. Let's talk about where we've seen that post-COVID-19.
Yeah, bless you. I think we've basically seen recovery in the upper end of the market mainly, and I suppose it's reflected a little bit if we haven't got much visual in the JSE onto the hotel sector. But if you look at the Santon group, which is listed, I think their shares are up about 13% over 3 months. Over a year, it's 37%. A little bit different for City Lodge, which is more a budget group. I think they're pretty much down. And I think it's not down a lot, but they're not showing the same growth as the luxury groups like Southern Sun has more upmarket hotels. So we're seeing that recovery more in the upper market. I guess it'll feed down eventually, but for the time being, it is kind of that upper echelon and especially Cape Town, to be quite honest, as well.
Also interesting here is the fact that we aren't seeing new hotels coming on board, but we are seeing refurbishments. And that's sorry, Mark, bit of a cough here. And that's an interesting trend. I'm keen to get your thoughts on what might cause that for us not to see new groups and new hotels emerging, but rather this issue of refurbishments and partnerships. I think that's important. Yeah. International brands trying to get in on our market.
Yeah, look, I think we've got a huge scar that came after the 2010 World Cup. I think there was overdevelopment. I think there was even a little poster child for that overdevelopment, which is the 15 on Orange down in Cape Town, which I think launched as the World Cup was launching, never got traction. I think the company that originally ran it had to give it up. So that was kind of the apex of the oversupply in a way. So I think they've been a lot more cautious this time. And that's understandable after COVID as well. That's also pulled in people's reins heavily. But I think let's look at the refurbishments. They're pretty substantial. I mean, the one figure I saw was R1 billion refurbishment for the one of the hotels at the waterfront, and I think that hotel maybe 25 years ago cost 450 million rand to build. Now they're putting another R1 billion into it. That's quite substantial. So not to be scoffed at. That's also very significant. And there are groups I've seen that have expanded their hotels slightly, but yes, no great swathe of new hotels yet, and that might be a way to go still, although I think there are gaps. I think the V&A guys said they think they can see a few more hotels in the V&A in Cape Town, but let's watch and wait. They'll probably be more cautious than adventurous.
I also want to talk on the pipeline, though. There are a few emerging. There's one big development in KZN, I believe, and others are there. I'm keen to find out about those ones and, just understanding the value that they might bring online, especially in the KZN, which actually should be more of a favorite amongst the tourists than it actually is.
Yeah, look, I mean, the KZN is difficult. It's had its challenges, as you know, floods, unrest, all kinds of things. So, yes, that's quite a surprising development. But I guess if people have underspent there, maybe there is a niche, maybe there's a gap. And I suppose that'll happen where people see there's growth nodes. I mean, possibly Cape Town's West Coast, for instance, might be something there. Who knows? There are these growth nodes, but I think in the city centres, I think it might be a little more restrained. But I guess there'll be these nodes. KwaZulu-Natal is very, very interesting. I think maybe the person who's the bravest there will come out top, but it's going to be a brave person to invest big there at the moment.
And Santon, that used to be a hot node, wasn't it, at some point? Are we still seeing that popularity for Santon, or is that kind of maybe falling into the whole Johannesburg and Gauteng story versus, of course, the Western Cape and what's happening in Cape Town?
Well, I think the Santon for traveling, the travelers coming there, market travelers for business as well. So that will always be a hub. I'm sure it's quite vibrant. I haven't been for a while, to be honest, physically, so I haven't seen. But I can imagine, you normally get a hotel booked in that area. So yes, I think that precinct would still be strong. And I don't know about new hotels, to be honest, anything of substantial size. But yes, I guess they want to get occupancies up. That's the problem at the moment. I think only Cape Town's occupancies are higher than COVID-19. The rest of the country is still below that level. And although the room rates have gone up, I think room rates would have to go up a lot more, but the occupancies need to go much higher in other parts of the country. And I guess they'll have to wait for those to balance out before anyone commits to spending a bit of capital.
Interesting also is MICE travel there. That's meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions. South Africa really are benefiting from that kind of travel. At some point, Mark, I think after COVID, we thought, this travel was kind of dead. Webinars would take over. But it looks like slowly but surely, people are back to seeing each other in person.
Yeah, I think people, when for team building aspects like that are very important in business, and I think you need to group people together. As the one part of the MICE is the incentives, you need to get people together. You need to pay for their travel, get them to a central spot. Do whatever you have to do to rally the troops. So yes, that'll come back, I guess. I mean, I think you can't replace that with Zoom. Let's be honest. That's very, very difficult. Too many voices in a Zoom call, but on a Zoom screen. So yeah, I think that will come back slowly but surely as corporate starts spending as well.
And before I let you go, we also touch on just cost control within mind. I think part of the article we spoke to some executives in South Africa's hotel sector there. And the issue of managing costs and being leaner operations, important for that very meticulous margin management, which I think all hotel groups have to be very wary of.
Yeah, look, I think COVID, as bad as it was, the one benefit it brought a new cost infrastructure to the hotel groups, and that's stayed. It's a lot leaner and a lot meaner. So, I think for them, sure, the room rates are up, get those occupancies up, your margin is going to help a heck of a lot because, there is a new operating model and that's been instituted all the way through. I think every hotel group's doing that. You had to do it to survive. And once you put those things in place, you get used to them, it becomes normal. So yes, it's a much leaner model, and I think it'll benefit people in the future when we get a more vibrant traveling market and more people coming through. I think this year was a good year, but it could be better, and let's see what happens in a few years' time.
Certainly loving hotels again, Mark, after some time at Airbnb, seeing hotels being more popular again. Thank you for your time. Always a pleasure having you here on Business Lunch. That was Marc Hasenfuss, editor for the Financial Mail.